What's up, guys? This is Line of Thoughts. Rise and shine, everybody. All right, let's jump right into it. The NBA suspended and fined Phoenix Suns owner 10 million for accusations of racism, sexism, and bullying. Um, they said that he does all they got record of people, his employees in particular, who have made accusations about this guy. Can't think of his name right now. Uh, some players have expressed their displeasure. Some players wanted him kicked out of the league. I think the guy that took over the interim owner, I think he requested for the owner to get kicked out of the league. The NBA didn't. It was just for a year, and they gave him a $10 million fine. Some people think that's like chump change. LeBron has expressed his displeasure, as well as Chris Paul, among others. Again, what's your line of thought regarding this situation, guys?
Hey, you want to start this off?
Okay.
Well, it's like the Redskins all over again, or the Commander now. There should be no, in my opinion, there should be no racism anywhere in the workplace. It makes it a very hostile environment, and we're in 2022. I don't think it should be allowed. I don't think it should be anywhere in, like, as any employee. If I work at a place, I don't believe I should have to experience that. It's especially coming from an owner, and if that is his train of thought, he's kind of behind the eight ball. And $10 million, yeah, that's probably chunk change. These guys, these NBA owners, they make billions with a B of dollars a year, and 10 million is nothing, man. Start taking draft picks away, like what they did with the Commanders. Hit their pockets. That's when matters, actually, when they will take actions. It started with the top, and it's like the Commanders. They fired John Gruden. They fired this. They fired that.
That was the Raiders.
Commanders
still got their owner.
Yeah, they still got their owner. But what happened to John Gruden? Look at him. Yes, it's an email 10 years ago, but you put that on blast. That's on you.
Yeah, he's a coach. He's not an owner. The NFL is probably far more worse than the NBA as far as racism goes. Nothing really gets addressed that way. The way they did Kaepernick, they just literally blackballed him. You can say all you want about Kaepernick. Oh, he's not that great a player and all that or whatever. But the same people who talk about, and I'm a Niners fan, same people who talk about Garoppolo, Garoppolo should be starting and all that. He took it to the Super Bowl. Well, so did Kaepernick. Kaepernick led the 49ers to the Super Bowl, and nobody even mentions that. So, yeah, he clearly got blackballed. There's a lot of racism in the NFL. There's a lot of racism in the NHL as well. Things, I think this is the age of exposure. I think this is good exposure that we need because, again, racism has never been properly addressed. It just gets ignored. It gets swept under the rug. It gets bypassed. People are like, oh, whatever, you know what I'm saying? People don't want to talk about it. People feel uncomfortable talking about it. So like I say, it gets downplayed where people just make it seem like it's not as big of a deal as it is. It is. It's a big deal. I think when we address and tackle racism, it advances human civilization. It really does. People sit up here and talk about Star Trek and Star Wars or whatever. We can't battle no goddamn aliens. We can't. We got to tackle our own issues. Right? We sit up there worried about some other planets or whatever. We can't even, come on now. And then We don't want no fake love over here. We don't want people going around playing it all, acting fake and all that or whatever. If you got a problem, we need to tackle it right now. It don't have to be violent. It could be civilized. It could just be as simple as talking about it. But this, to me, this is a step in the right direction with this owner. Um, he probably should have been. And like I said, I'm with like being fined more, hitting his pockets. Losing a pick. Something like this is like more like more personal. I don't think that the whole team should suffer if you take a pick. So, but they should have fined them a lot more. And maybe the suspension should have been higher or whatever. Some people feel like a ban. I don't know. I just look at it, baby, hit his pocket. All right, Calvin, what you got to say, bro? Look like you itching.
I'm a devout. I'm a devout believer in this. Money should not dictate the rules, right? This guy has broken numerous rules, has committed all types of injustices, such as racism. Racism is an ultimate injustice on anyone that is being inflicted on. On top of that, he's bullying people. He's doing all these things that's very much against the rules of sport. However, because he has money, the organization is saying openly, if you give us enough money, you will not be punished. Which, again, it's just as you both just said, it's just a drop in the bucket compared to the vast amount of wealth he has accumulated from that over the years, right? So, and unfortunately, that goes with everything else within our society. You got enough money, you can get away with it and still keep your job. Like, did he keep his job? Is he still employed by them, or?
Yeah, he's still employed. He just
got
suspended for 1 year. Yeah.
Oh, that's it?
That's it.
So,
Yeah.
wow. All right, yeah. So, again, like I said, money should not dictate the rules.
Okay. Well,
I'm just reading this right now. There's overwhelming amount of evidence against this guy for racial slur harassment. They reviewed over 80,000 documents relating to servers or the owner's conduct. That's actually pretty amazing that there's so many evidence against this guy. He also made sex-related comment, inappropriate appearance-related comments about to female employee. He also mistreated employee by yelling and cursing.
As a matter of fact, now that I think about it, they got rid of the Clippers owner, right? They got rid of the Clippers owner, whatever. There was evidence of him. It was footage, and they kicked him out. So you would think that the NBA should have kicked this guy out because there's so many accusations against him.
Well, you got to think a guy who's committed all this bullshit, over 80 freaking thousand known cases. You know, this guy, he was going to get away with it, right? That's wow. That's okay.
Yeah, talk about the Clipper owner. I forgot about it. He even had not a baby mama. His side piece was a black lady too. So, and he was saying all the N words, and while you're dating a black girl. That's interesting. Yeah.
You would think. Yeah, they should. They got rid of that guy. Why didn't they get rid of the Suns guy? And
the funny part is both team had Chris Paul at the time.
I know, right?
Yeah, white people.
Remember?
Allowed to say the N word dating a black.
Yeah, say the N word dating a black girl.
All right. Okay.
I guess they felt. I guess both owner felt like they had State Farm. We got your back.
No, I would say hit him with with his pockets. I guess ultimately hitting him with his pockets is just taking his team away from him and putting his team up himself. I guess
that out there is I'm not against finding people. By all means, find the fuck out of that guy. However, he'll be punished accordingly based off of the rules he broke, not the amount of money he has.
Yeah. I feel that, man. I feel that, yeah.
No.
All right. Let's move on, guys. So, San Francisco woman is suing her city for DNA discovery. So apparently, there was a case going on. And I guess I think hold on. I think she filed or reported a crime to the local police of I guess a rape,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not mistaken.
Oh no, you're
And then the police ended up, confiscating her DNA. Apparently, they already had her copy of her DNA or a sample of her DNA from the past, and apparently she's in connection of another crime,
vice
and now
versa.
she wants to sue the state, or is it vice versa? Okay.
Yeah, was again very unfortunately was raped, and she submitted a rape kit, right, in order
Okay.
to get her aggressor. However, eventually down the line, I don't know how far into the future, a break and entering ended up occurring, right? And they found DNA on the scene. Well, they used the DNA and it matched with the rape kit that she gave of her DNA,
Okay.
right? So the
Okay.
problem is like, well, hold on. She did not give the state consent to use her rape kit against her in a few, like if she were to commit a crime, which it hasn't been
Yeah.
proven did do that break and entering or not.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. What's your line of thought regarding that, anyway?
That's tricky, dude. That's very, very tricky. I overall though, I do believe a victim's DNA should not be used as prosecution, right? However, uh, it's again that's a real slippery slope because imagine again, God forbid, let's say a woman in case she gets raped, submits a rape kit, but at some point in time, maybe years in the future, she commits murder or work or something extreme, and that's the only piece of evidence. What do you do?
Hmm. I know, right? Yeah. So the way they went about it was crooked, but they got some shit on her. So that's that's tricky, man. That really is okay, but um, you probably got to find some other form of evidence because that don't seem like that's legit, man. You know,
Yeah, slippery slope.
so maybe
Like,
some form of evidence that you can find or whatever that's legitimate. Or
yeah, dude,
well,
now
that's legitimate. But
you're
what's up,
telling
man?
everyone out there that if you commit a crime in the future, we're going to use your past trauma against you.
So see, that's the thing, and that makes me think about ancestral.com or whatever,
Oh,
ancestry.com, where like they force you to take they literally take your sample and keep it for their record. I particularly don't like that.
really? They,
It kind of reminds me, yeah, it kind of reminds me of the
Yeah.
realm of that or
Uh,
whatever.
I want to read
Uh,
them.
yeah, that's actually ancestry.com, 23andMe. There's actually a database. When you submit your DNA, it goes in a database. And if you commit a crime that was prior, they will find you. And there has been numerous cases where a guy or a woman submit his DNA to find out his family member and end up in prison because their DNA matched a cold case and they found that was the person.
Oh,
I mean, in this case, yes, she is the victim, but she did commit a crime. So if I say I was a victim and I submit my DNA and my DNA came back to a cold case, should I be liable?
yeah, dude. Again, that's the real scary thing with that is yes, that is very true. But on the other hand, how badly is the system going to abuse that, right? Because for any
But how?
civilians disclose, law enforcement tends to
Yeah,
abuse. I think it's every group of law enforcement, but it's happened so often to where now you got a question. It's like, well, hold on, I am giving you my consent to use this to find, my aggressor or my ancestors, right? If you're using the ancestry.com thing.
uh-huh. Yeah,
However, I'm not giving
yeah,
you consent to use it for anything else.
yeah,
So how far does that go?
yeah. Yeah, I don't particularly like that. Yeah, I think that needs to change. But that's what that kind of reminds me of. It reminds me of I kind of that deal just a little bit or whatever. But this situation is a bit different because she didn't have any she didn't give consent according to her. She didn't even know about it. You know, that was
Yep.
something that they did and that they kept. So I would say uh, it's better for them to find another piece of evidence to convict her. You know, honestly, because that's like I said, it's not legit. My
I
opinion.
think. I mean, just this is just an idea off the top of my head. If that is the case, let's say same case, woman gets raped, she submits a rape kit, but then years or however long in the future, she commits like a horrendous crime such as like murder, right?
Uh-huh.
However, the only piece of evidence they have is that rape kit, right? In the
That's true.
past, that
That's
rape
true.
kit, again, this is just a random idea off the top of my head.
Uh-huh.
That rape kit should be valid as an idea of who the suspect is, but it should not be used as evidence, right? So it's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, we know
Yeah.
it's the person, but now for the court
Gotta
of law,
prove it.
we need to
Yeah.
find something else to convict.
Yeah.
Random
Right.
idea.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. Absolutely. Um, and again, you talking about murder and we talk about kidnapping. No, bro, that's true. Um, El Chino, you want to chime in before we move on?
I mean, you guys will, Calvin. You guys hit all the point. There, that is the gray line. That is, are you to give a consent, but at the same time, if you commit the crime,
Yeah.
you kind of did it. So, like,
Yeah.
how can
You
you
did
say,
it.
hey, because
That's true.
you did it? So
So
it's,
I
I
was
mean,
thinking
there's,
too, like if I was thinking too, like if there's a way that they can legitimize that, you know what I'm saying? There's a way, like where they could be like, you know what, it doesn't matter, you did it, this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, there's got to be some kind of uh confirmation. Oh, there's got to be like a clear view of what what's going on here. I just hate that people steal your information. You know what I'm saying? And then, we all know how hard it is for American citizens to trust their own government. So there needs to be clarification or something. I didn't mean to cut you off, El Chino. I just want to put that out.
yeah, no.
Yeah. So yeah. No, I agree, man. There's got to be some kind of common ground law, some kind of clarification. It's like, come on now, man. What are you guys doing?
If I give you
So
anything, I should know 100% what you're going to use it for, right?
yeah,
If I give
I
it to
agree.
you only to locate my ancestors or to
Yeah,
locate my aggressor, it should only
right.
be used for that, nothing
Yeah,
else. If you're willing to give it to you, if you use it for anything
right.
else outside of that,
Absolutely.
then that is um then no, I do not.
All right, let's move on, guys. All right, we got Illinois Republicans expressed their disapproval of the end of the cash bail. All right, so cash bail, if you guys are not familiar with it, that is part of one of the states overall bills. I forget what it's called, but it's part of one of the bills, and it was passed last year. Republicans are still pretty much disappointed in that they disapproved that bill, particularly because of the cash bail part of it, and that pretty much is like, from what I understand, pretty much it it's a disadvantage for mainly minority citizens there, to where
I
they don't have to pay, they can't afford to pay their way out of jail pretty much. And so because of that, whatever, they stay in there and they do extra time, or they do time where you got more of the white citizens or citizens who have more money, they just pay their way out of jail. So they stopped that, and they're like, if you committed a crime, you got to do the time. So there's no way, you should try to bail out of a crime you can't commit. So that kind of speaks to the other one or whatever, about
Oh,
doing
I
something and being paid for it, or paying well, doing the time for it. What's up, Calvin?
yeah, no, okay. You know me. I'm independent, but I lean more right wing. However, in this situation, I actually do agree with Illinois, like getting rid of this system because uh, cash bail was specifically designed to. It was supposed to be based off of what the individual being accused can afford, not what the judge deems as necessary based off of the crime, right? That's how it was originally supposed to be. However, because like only under extreme circumstances is somebody supposed to be denied bail, right? So that they're supposed to stay in jail. But however, this system right here was originally designed to keep people out of jail to save taxpayer dollars to do all these things, right? However, when somebody repeats a crime, it looks bad on the judge. So what does the judge do? He makes the bail so high to where he doesn't have to worry about it. Dude's going to jail either way. So even when he or she repeats a crime, it doesn't look bad on the judge. The horrific cost of that is that the vast majority of people in jail are people who are minorities, who are on the poverty line. So all these people that can't afford something as simple as $500 or as major as $10,000, all these they are the vast majority of people in jail, including those who are most likely deemed innocent, but because they can't afford bail, they get fucked. On top of that, when you got bail bond systems and you got loans, you got all these people who are in jail but desperate to get out, they get a part of that. Now they're in debt. And now you got all these people going further into poverty. Like the entire system is jacked to the point to where if you're a minority or you are, again, the majority, I'm saying not all minority, like all people of color, when you're the vast majority of people who are minorities or within the poverty line or like below middle class, you're fucked, right? You are absolutely fucked. And on top of that, us as taxpayers, we're spending over $14 billion a year just keeping people in jail, including those who are innocent. And those large, I can't remember the exact, I'll be honest, a large portion of people in jail take the guilty plea just to get out of jail, but for the rest of their lives, now they have they got a criminal record, even if they're found. It's I actually, as much as I really don't like Illinois, to be honest, I actually do agree with this.
They got one right.
Yeah.
They got one thing right.
I am happy with them on this one.
Anything you want to chime in on, El Chino?
Well, I agree with what Calvin's saying. It's pretty much the same. It's the law is known as from what I read is known as the Purge Law. It's kind of it wants to target the rich, where the one that can pay their way out, but at the same time, that's only a small minuscule amount of percentage. 90+% are minority that can pay their way out. And there I read the stat, there is still, and it hurts the percentage of those that are innocent and they can't pay their way out, and that hurts economy. That hurts the person. They go in debt. They know they're innocent and they still get thrown in there. That hurts their job. They lose their job, and it's a trickle down effect. But the rich, they will still find a way to get out. We've seen it time after time after time that regardless of how much the bail is, $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, they'll still find their way out. Look at here in Vegas. Look at here. How many high-profile celebrity we had here in Vegas that get in trouble or serious trouble was still able to get their way out. Even they set the bail, the judge set the bail at a extramental amount of money that an average folks like us could not pay for it, but he still find a way to get out. He still find a way to pay for it.
I'm really glad.
It's one of those rules that to me is just, yeah, it sounds good, but if you look at what it actually really does, it hurts a lot more than it would help.
So you saying
Yeah.
from a financial standpoint?
Yeah, no, like I said, Chino, I'm really glad you brought that up because that's another thing that I'm really surprised the news is not talking about is the fact of, love your mug, is the fact of, it's like, well, hold on now, because the system is now gone, when an individual commits a serious crime, like a very, like, a very, very, such as rape and murder, no longer is the bail, like, is the cash bail system there anymore. Now it's like, well, hold on, if the judge, again, now the pressure is more on the judge, no longer the bail, right? So now the judge has to put her reputation on the line. It's like, well, hold on now. Now you can't rely on the bail system to, in a sense, cover your ass. Now you, as the judge, you have to make that decision. It's like, well, do you want to risk it and let this person go and then show up for a future court date, or do you want to keep them in jail? Right? Keeping people in jail is, again, as originally intended, was only meant for serious, very, very serious crimes. If it's petty crimes, just let them go. And future court date saves taxpayers money. However, now that's no longer the case. Now you got somebody, regardless of race and regardless of wealth, who commits a serious crime. Now you got to make that decision.
I believe there is a stipulation in there to where it doesn't really touch on. It focuses more on serious crimes than it does petty. I think there is something in there, Yeah.
Yes, because like, again, the vast majority of people in jail are in there for petty crimes, right?
Yeah.
Like minor, or like kind of beyond petty crimes. They're there for 3 days or as long as months just before they go on court date, which is insane.
Yeah.
Which again,
absolutely.
I disagree with Illinois on most things, but they got this one right. I actually am proud of them on this one.
Okay. All right. Let's move on, guys. Several high school teens are believed to have died from fentanyl-laced pills in Hollywood. This is a big deal or not? And to note that drugs, especially fentanyl, that's hot, man. Pills, that's a very trendy thing, like how coke was at one time, crack was in the 80s, with meth in the 90s. Seems to be fentanyl pills. High school kids, rich high school kids, are now getting some exposure here when lower middle class kids weren't. So this a big deal or not?
Chino.
I mean, every generation there's always the generation drugs. I mean, like you said, the 70s, the 60s, the 50s, even the 80s, you got cocaine, you got meth, you got heroin. You gotta have a good, you got to make the right choices in life. That's up to you. If you decide to partake in a certain party or a certain drug, that's on you. Yeah, you might not know it, but those are accident. Accident does happen. But if you decide to go to these parties and popping pills, and one of them laced with fentanyl, that's on you, man. We grew up. I think our era, we grew up with ecstasy. We grew up with even meth, and I think heroin. We didn't. We're still here. We didn't. There's always that possibility. It's the same as drinking and driving. Drinking and drink.
That's an ongoing thing.
Drinking and driving. Yeah. Yeah, drinking and driving kills more people than most disease. I think it's drinking. I think it's in the top three diseases in the world, or it kills. So fentanyl is one of those things. Just take it up a notch. It's easy to make. It's cheap, and it gives you that high. And you got to be careful. One, you got to be careful. Just one, be careful, and two, don't put yourself in that situation that you might get OD'd, and if you OD, that's on you.
I think it's a big deal. Um, I like to see efforts being real efforts being made to stop this. And then there's one thing where you say we expect for adults to be responsible and not to take drugs, but then now we're talking about teenagers. Again, where did they get it from? Uh, they probably didn't get the bedroom. Or they probably didn't produce it or manufacture it from their bedroom. They got it from somewhere else. They got it from the dealer. Dealer got it from somewhere. I believe a lot of these pills are made in labs or labs, absolutely. And then they get distributed. So I think there needs to be an effort made. Will there be an effort made? Probably no. Wishful thinking, absolutely. But it's what needs to happen. Now, these teens are popping these pills. And then one thing about pills, I believe the image of pills looks a little bit more positive than coke, crack, heroin. It just people consume pills all the time. As far as for medicinal purposes or whatever. So I think that there's rappers who have died from laced fentanyl. You're probably gonna lace fentanyl. You're gonna put more stuff into it or whatever. Upper drugs, whatever. So that's my opinion. Calvin, you got anything to say?
Oh, I got a lot.
Is it a big deal? Is it a big deal or not?
Yeah, no, it's a very, but it covers a very wide range of sense of it's like, okay, law enforcement needs to crack down, do their standard deal with the DEA. Like, okay, hold on. Fentanyl is an extreme drug that's killing a lot of people. Or if it doesn't kill you, it gets you extremely addicted. On top of that, how are the kids getting their hands on it? Right? That's definitely something that needs to be investigated in the law enforcement. It's like, okay, so clearly there is a dealer or a fellow high school or student is dealing this out. What should be the crime on that? The other thing is a lot of schools actually disagree with it. Negative influence. I don't. Which children in high school should be taught how to handle somebody who is ODing, right? And the reason why a lot of aren't for that is because then a high school is acknowledging that they got a problem. No, I don't think it shows the problem. It shows the school's willingness to protect their children, right, under their care. Every generation has their own type of drug dilemma, right? I personally think children should be taught like, hey, if somebody is at a party, right, regardless if they're at your high school or not, is ODing on a drug, here's what you do. Obviously, you call 911, but until then, have a basic fundamental understanding of like what to do to preserve life. However, unfortunately, with like things like fentanyl laced drugs, you oftentimes need Narcan, but there are things that you can do to help at least like CPR and things like that. Kids should be taught these things, right? Because unfortunately, that's the reality of the world. Kids are being able to get more access to drugs such as pills laced with fentanyl, and also marijuana, that crap too. Like it's all kinds of bad.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same. I mean, I think the era I grew up it's called a Skittle Party, where everybody it's called a Skittle Party. You can look it up. Basically, it's a party where everybody get all the prescription pills. They put it all in a bucket, and you stick your hand in there, and it's a giant Skittle Party. Wow. And I mean, I think it's making a comeback if kids are getting OD on pills. I mean, fentanyl is one of those drugs that in news you have seen tons and tons of fentanyl getting confiscated, but that's just the tip. They found a whole, what is it? I think they just found, if I'm correct, couple tons of fentanyl inside a coconut that was coming in. They found a submarine full of fentanyl that was coming in. It's still coming into this country. So you just have to be precaution. I mean, it could be anything we touch. But kids in high school, it's the same. You just got to be careful. Be careful where you're at and know how to take when it happens, and when you see it, know how to react to it.
Yeah, exactly. It's as simple as one subject: what to do in this situation, how to avoid it, worst case scenario. And honestly, I think it'd be very productive for schools to have like a little pamphlet of like, hey, what to avoid, what to do, because obviously a lot of kids are gonna fuck off like on their phones or just ignore it. But if you at least like, again, just it only takes one kid in a party to be like, hey, roll him on his side. Why? He's choking on his vomit. Most kids don't know that, right? Look, just the smallest things can save somebody's life, especially when it comes to drug overdose.
Hey man, people have made efforts to try to motivate kids to, or people in general to not take drugs, and there's only so much you can do, guys. I remember in the '80s or whatever, just don't say no. They had the Dare program and all that or whatever. Listen, y'all, there's only so much that can do. Just try to keep this shit away from the streets.
Oh yeah,
That's my thing.
It's at least for a school, they can proudly say, at least we did something, right? In terms of stopping it, that's a law enforcement issue. For high schools, the ultimate goal is to protect the kids and to prepare them as much as you possibly can. But at the end of the day, it's up to the kids.
I tell you, like I say, I believe in it takes a village mentality. So that's my whole deal. But all right, moving on. All righty. So we got our political analyst, Matt Walsh, said that the upcoming Black Little Mermaid isn't scientific. Agree or disagree?
Okay. I disagree to an extent. Here's why. Okay, first off, does he know that there's a fucking crab that sings Disney songs underneath the ocean? Is he aware of that?
Under the sea. Under the sea. He's Jamaican, right?
Woman fish with dark skin. Are you fucking kidding me? All right. Now here's why I agree with it to an extent. To an extent, is this all right? She's black. Okay, that's fine. Who cares? It's the fucking Little Mermaid. Who cares?
Exactly.
My question though is how is she able to maintain perfect dreads underneath the water? That makes no fucking sense to me. That's where.
Wow.
That's the only complaint I have.
Stop it, bro. Oh man. Hey, I think it's possible, man. Like I got some pretty thick hair. Her hair is pretty thick.
Right, but fucking water.
But you probably had to do it while you were on land, and she's a mermaid. She can go on land.
Yeah, but
she go on land.
Those dreads. She ain't covering those dreads underneath the freaking salt water.
No, I think it can stay knotted or she hold up. Whenever she needs to knot them and tighten them, she just goes out into the land,
okay,
tightens them up and then goes back into the sea. I think it's possible.
Okay, you know what? And she does.
Yeah, fine.
And then also like when you talk about skin tone, on human, I think it's melanin. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that, but
yeah,
melanin is the reason why I have my dark complexion, not because of the UV, not because of that. People say that, no. Okay, now you know the difference because that's a tan, right? That's a tan. That's like Akon, right? Akon said that he's actually darker than what he is. Now, he's a pretty dark skinned guy, right? Very dark. He's actually darker. He said when he took his trips to Africa, he said he he came back darker. That's because of the UV, because of the sun rays. They tanned him. So he had a tan on top of the extreme amount of melanin that he has in his skin. So then also, I think you kind of mentioned, Cowdy, about the colors of the sea creatures that are in the sea, right? Like killer whales. Killer whales are very dark. You know, they're not humans, but their skin tone it doesn't have anything to do with UV, and it's still dark. Like so, I'm
I,
going to have to disagree with Matt Wash with
yeah,
this.
Matt Wash, you kind of dropped the ball on this one, bud, because Professor talking fish. Come on, and it's Disney. Who cares?
Yeah.
Make her color green for all I care. Oh,
and then also, I would like to do this again when we talk about racism in America, racism in Hollywood, Disney movies, whatever, right? Film, racism in film. All right. So there have been so many roles that white people played that they shouldn't have played.
Yep.
I remember. You guys remember the movie Ten Commandments?
Nope.
Oh yeah, Ten Commandments, whatever. Well, it's old movie, it's classic movie. But all white people, Egyptians, the Hebrews, everyone white. I'm talking about white, not even Middle East, not even not Indian, not Latino or Latin, just all white people that played these roles. So there's been many roles or whatever. Othello. There was a white guy who blackfaced himself and played Othello. We all know Othello was, a black character, created by Shakespeare. So, we can go on and on and on. So this is over the past, and things have been just being glossed away. So it seems like it's kind of like catching up. It's not like. And then another thing I want to know, they took it upon themselves to play these roles. You see, Disney, which is a white-owned company, hired a black girl to play this role. It'll be different if Tyler Perry decided to create the Little Mermaid or whatever, and that's a little different. And then at the end of the day, it's a damn cartoon. It's a made-up fictional character.
Right.
Jesus Christ, relax.
I told you before in the past that if something like historic, right, should be played by that historically racial actor or actress, right?
Absolutely.
However,
totally agree with that.
For fuck's sake, it's the Little Mermaid, and it's different. Me personally, I always feel that if an individual, regardless of race, is best suited for that role because they're the best actor or actress, then give it to them, right? However, Disney needs to stop playing the no, it just so happens we picked her. Be honest, because hey, we wanted to mix it up. You know what? Fuck it. Be open about it. Like, why? Like, we wanted a black actress. She's phenomenal for the role. That's why we picked her. That's what Disney needs to start doing. Stop trying to both sides. Not like that. Listen, we went on, so now we want a black actress. And by the way, she's actually great for the role. Fuck yeah. I'm not watching it, obviously. But
after all that, okay. No, Chino, chime in, Chino, bro. What you got?
I mean, first of all, it's a freaking cartoon, like you said. Dude, we have a talking Chewbacca here. We got a talking robot. We got a talking Woody. We got a talking Buzz Lightyear, for God's sake. We got a talking duck. We got a talking mouse. Matt Walsh, where are you on Mickey Mouse, huh? Why isn't Donald Duck wearing pants? Huh? Let's talk about that. Yeah, okay, so I give Disney props for being very diverse, very, very diverse. The last 10 years. Disney has diversified in everything they have done. I give them props. Look at Star Wars. Just look at the cast in Star Wars. Very, very diverse. Look at Rebel Rebellion. Look at that. The Last Rebel.
Got some negative about that.
I mean, if you look at the cast, it's not whitewashed. I mean, if you want to look at whitewash, look at Dragon Ball Evolution. Look at Ghost in the Shell. Look at Prince of Persia. God of Egypt. Look at that.
Oh my God. God of Egypt, yeah. Prince of
I
Persia.
mean,
Get a freaking. Okay, hold on. They got a straight up white guy playing it. Like what? Why?
Exactly.
Why?
I mean,
I didn't watch it for that reason. It's not convincing.
Wait, which movie?
Yeah, The Last Airbender. Exodus.
Last Airbender.
Prince of Persia. Yeah. I mean, I like The Last Airbender, but if you want to be ethnic correctly, it's not. Still one of the most whitewashed movie, Dragon Ball Evolution. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree.
As a cartoon person, look at that movie. Look at freaking Mario. Look at the Mario movie back in the day. I mean, you kind of have it, but it's kind of You got to watch it.
Wait, was Mario?
It's John Leguizamo. No, John Leguizamo was playing.
Yeah, you want to get it. You want to get an Italian guy. Yeah, they're Italian. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Not Puerto Rican guy. No, get an Italian guy to play Mario. I mean, for God's sake. Yeah.
I mean, it's a cartoon. We got a talking rat, Shredder. We got talking turtles.
Hey, hold up.
Why?
Imagine if you would have ever encountered Shredder, man, like walking, talking rat. I would go absolutely nuts. Like I'm sorry, but go ahead. Yeah,
we definitely went.
Yeah. I mean, why are you criticizing? I mean, it's a fictional world. It's like saying the Justice League. Why does I mean, you're just, oh man. It's like, why is Thanos purple? I don't know. Yeah. Because they made him purplish blue.
I don't know.
Why is
Agreed.
Yeah, it's like Aladdin, Will Smith, a black man playing a genie, playing a blue man. I don't care. It's Will Smith.
Yeah.
I mean, you're trying to make a subject out of you're trying to make a argument out of nothing.
People are going, El Chino, guys counting, people are really going crazy over this, man. Like, there's Facebook groups. There's a Facebook group called Christians Against the Black Little Mermaid. I kid you not. They got a lot of members too.
I'm glad there's that group because here's the thing. I love it when stupidity identifies itself. All right.
Oh, absolutely.
Why are we taking stupid people seriously? That's something in this country we've always done for a long time. There's always been stupid people. Why are we taking stupid? Why are we even paying attention to them? Let them be like, yeah, all of us here, we don't think you're a black Little Mermaid. All right. Well, now we know who you fuckers are. So we're not gonna.
Exactly. That's the thing. Knowing who it is, man. Yeah, absolutely, man. Okay. Let's go with El Chino's update. All right.
All right. So
that's more love. Apparently. Fuck
good intro, man.
Yeah, you got a fucking Jamaican lobster. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I think the news came out I think early last night or yesterday. I don't know when, but congratulations to Steph Curry. He got a $1 billion contract from Under Armour, a lifetime contract. So congratulations to him. To me, it shows loyalty. Loyalty paid off because Nike did not give a flying fruit about Steph Curry until he got famous big. They couldn't even say his name correctly during the presentation. Oh, wow. And Steph was like, what the hell? You can't even get my name right?
They can't get
Why am
that
I
his
signing
name.
with a company? Yeah, they can't even get his name right.
They couldn't get his name right.
So
I can
they
understand
can't
my
get his
name,
name.
but they couldn't get his name right. Come on. Wow.
And I think they even got the wrong name in the presentation. So I say congratulations to him and making it big. So there's another news. Like you said, we were talking about the cash. So if I say her name correctly, Bella Callis Almazara, as so Bella Callis Almazar, known as Cardi B.
Oh,
So she, yeah. So she was part of a 2018 brawl inside a strip club, and she put a plea bargain, and she will avoid jail time. She got 15 days of community service. So she was a mastermind in what happened in the brawl. So basically, she offered somebody $5,000 to beat somebody up, and that person did, and basically caused a brawl. And like you said, she got the money, she got the lawyer, and she's going to get 15-day community service.
okay.
I mean, if that was you, me, or if that was you, me, or anybody else.
But you see, well, okay, determine whether if it's petty or not. And that's probably not petty. That's kind of on the serious side. Maybe she probably should have did a little bit of time instead of just community service. But we're talking about like serious stuff.
Or something else. I mean, if I pay somebody $5,000 to beat somebody up and he accidentally murders the person, guess what?
Absolutely,
yeah. Murder.
It could have went to that. It could have went to that, and then it got messy and it turned to a brawl. So it kind of got a little bit ugly or whatever. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's like I said before, though, and again, I'm glad to put responsibility more on the judge. If the judge sees that as a minor, then it's a minor. Right?
Yeah.
Or the judge can see it for what it is as something serious, like holy fuck, how bad was the assault, right? Like did the other girl get like a couple bruises, maybe a scratch, or maybe not at all, or did she get sent to the hospital and was fucked up with stitches? You know?
Absolutely.
So it's ultimately up to the determines like, all right, is she going to be jail time, or are we going to let this go? Give her a later court.
Yep. So another person, this person got more life. What do you call it? More is more luckier than a cat. Well, a cat got 7 life. So Mr. Putin survived another limo assassination. So somebody tried to assassinate him in his limo and he survived. They're saying there has been Putin, the Russian leader. So, from what I gather, they're saying this was the 7th publicized attempted murder, and he survived all 7. And as I dug deeper, they're saying there has been 43 assassination attempt on this guy, and they all failed.
Wow.
43 assassination, and he lived all of them. Wow, who is his bodyguard? Holy jeez!
Oh yeah, we give props to the
bodyguard,
or do we just like express our disgust in the job? You know.
Hey, you know me. I love making fun of Vladimir Putin for various reasons. However, I will give the guy this: he's a tough motherfucker. All right.
Oh yeah.
You need to remember about this guy.
Oh yeah.
He's former KGB. This guy went around the world kicking ass and taking names and spying for his country. And I know we all like to make fun of him that he likes riding around on horses and bears. I really, that we like fun of him for it, and the fact that he's short as shit. However, he is a tough motherfucker, and he's got phenomenal bodyguards who are willing to lay down their lives. So.
Yeah. So wow, 43. All right. So remember,
let's wrap it up, man. After this, bro.
We talk about. I think we talked about in the broadcast last time, Kanye West and his trash bag. Officially, Kanye West in the Gap partnership. The contract supposed to go to 2030. Well, apparently Kanye West ended it, and he wants to start his own bouquet shop. So yeah, no more trash bag in Gap store. Yeah. So that ain't gonna happen. And one more thing.
Oh man.
Let's take the over and under. How many kids is Nick Cannon gonna have? He's having his 9th baby now. And he's no. Here. He's having his 9th baby is due, but the 10th is on the way.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's having his 9th child, but the 10th is coming already. There's a 10th baby already. So
first of all,
I am gonna say he's gonna have over 12.
God,
12 and over.
I think it's going to be over. I think that has a nice ring to it. 11 or 12. Yeah. Absolutely.
He's going to be the new Cheaper by the Dozen, the new movie that's going to be featuring Nick Cannon.
Or he's going to be the new Genghis Khan. We got the black Genghis Khan up in here.
Not get on. No. Oh, that's no.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Okay. Let's just
yeah. So check us out. Subscribe to us on YouTube, guys. We're on podcasts all over the place, including Spotify. This is Line Up Talk, guys.